I'm just doing a very quick video tutorial based around my iPhone. I'm here in Platfield Park, Manchester. Um, One of the things I really like about video making is how you can rework time. You can kind of take the world around you and remix it, change the speed of time, slow things down, speed things up. I find that really inspiring, and there's an app that I've used on my iPhone which is brilliant. It's a free app called Slow Fast, and it's made by a company called Studio Neat, and I'll put a link below, but it's really good for taking slow motion films that you shoot on an iPhone and then reworking them, making them go slower, quicker, rewind, fast forward. So I just wanted to do a very quick demo of how that works. So it's all on an iPhone. I don't think it's available on any other types of phone, but it might be, I'm not sure. There might be a similar app. But you need to shoot with it on slow motion setting. So I've just popped that on slow motion there. And that means it does a very high frame rate. The frame rate I've got it set at is 120 frames a second. So that really speeds reality up. That really slows reality down, because all those frames can be spread over about 4 seconds and it still moves smoothly because you've got so many frames. So let me just quickly shoot some footage that will demonstrate this. So I'm going to film these pigeons, and here we go on slow motion, and we're going to move towards them. And there we go, they all flew around. I don't want to film too much because it takes a while to process, so I'll pause that there. Okay, so I'm back home after the park. I'm going to show you how to use the Slow Fast app to process this footage, to make it go backwards, to change the pace. So I'm going to find the app, which is this one here. It's like a white circle with red lines. You'll be able to find it in the App Store. If you click on that, you can then choose a video. So if I go to plus, it shows me all my slow motion videos, and this top left one is one of the pigeons that you saw me film. If I click the arrow on the right, then suddenly we've got that there. I'll turn the volume down, and at the moment it does a quick run through at normal speed, so it just looks like how it did normally. But the wonderful thing is, because this is slow motion footage, I can slow it down. So we've got this graph at the bottom here, and by grabbing these points or by holding and adding new points, we can make the time of this footage go all over the place. So let me hit play up here. So let's get a bit closer. We can get much slower, and you can see there that the pigeons are starting to fly really slowly. You're starting to see that nice detail, and you can make it even slower still. You can kind of drag these points right down to the bottom. There is a point where you go so slow, if you go right down here, you start seeing the individual frames. It doesn't look smooth. It doesn't have that kind of smoothness. I usually find if I'm shooting at about 120 frames a second, if I go to around there on the graph, it looks about right. It looks okay. And you can also, if you drag these outside bits, you can bring it in. So I know a lot of the footage isn't that useful. I know I can bring that into about there until the pigeons start flying. And this here, the camera goes off to the side, so I can bring that right in to when it's interesting, which is around there, and then hit trim. And then suddenly you've got this nice slow motion footage of the pigeons flying around. Now, the thing I want to show you that's really cool, and it'll take a while to process, is if you press this arrow, this straight line arrow, and then we'll sit here. It'll take a minute to process because it has to go all through that film and make it so it can play it smoothly and rewind. So we're going to do one of those moments where we suddenly speed up time. So here we go. Okay, and we'll get back to normal time, and now it's getting towards the end of the whole red bar, which means it's processed it. And now the graph works exactly the same at the bottom, altering speed, but we flip the footage, so it's going in rewind. It's going in exactly the reverse direction. So you get the birds flying in reverse, landing from the ground in reverse. And if we press that arrow again, we can go back in the normal direction, but in slow motion. So that arrow rotates between the two. And once we're happy, once we've got the speed we want and the footage is looking nice, we just hit this square with an arrow in and go original resolution, and it saves a time reworked version. All that thing you've done with the graph there and swapping the direction, that's now saved to my photos here on my iPhone, and you can see we've got that flying backwards. Um, yeah, I really love it. It's a great app. I love the way you can rework reality, take the real world and play it in different directions. That's one of my favorite things about photography. It's almost like having a superpower. And this might be a great homeschooling thing. You can see water moving in reverse. You can see the world going past you in reverse, and it suddenly makes you realize how we see the world, just this steady movement going forward. You don't see all the details. We're so used to seeing it that way that we don't perceive everything. Whereas an app like this, or playing with photography in interesting ways and video in interesting ways, allows you to rework reality and show the world in ways we're not familiar with. And I find that so exciting. So I'm going to show a few clips now of footage where I've done this in different places. I hope you enjoy them. It's a nice effect. So enjoy looking through, and I hope this tutorial has been useful. Like I say, the app is on Studio Neat and it's called Slow Fast, and I'll put a link below so you can download it. So yeah, thanks as always for watching. And if you have any subjects you'd like me to cover in these tutorials, please get in touch.